of Play Satanic's game, if you guys have seen the Long Foreigner game, he basically didn't even get his gas until his opponent ZvZ's lair was already complete. That was the time when he finally got his gas. And in any case, he relied completely on spore colonies for anti-air for a long time. But he still managed to get back in the game because he ended up with a better economy than his opponent. So now GGplay is setting up for a big attack here. It looks like a couple of Sunkens will be needed too because he's bringing a lot of Zerglings on. And of course, Yellow doesn't have the minerals to build that many Zerglings because all of his minerals are being used for these static defenses. Looks like this Zergling attack won't succeed though, because the Mulisks can't assist with all those spore colonies around. And wow, it looks like 3 spore colonies and a Sunken up at the lower left corner. So really interesting strategy there by Yellow actually. I guess just using this, using the corner of the map to his advantage because he can't get flanked there at that position, of course. And Yellow just perhaps now trying to just build up a large air force, but at the same time though, GGplay has not expanded. I'm a little surprised that GGplay. Actually, no, I'm sorry. GGplay has expanded at the 5 o'clock corner, it seems, where Yellow's old expansion was. And looks like GGplay going for an attack here. He might be able to pick off the Sun Colony. That would be terrible for Yellow if he does. Yellow forced to use his drones to defend here. Looks like he will be able to defend successfully though. But the Zerglings do pick off a couple more drones here. And GGplay is going to be up economically pretty soon here, I feel, because yes, he is going to get 2 expansions now, one at the 7 o'clock and one as natural. And of course, he has air superiority here, so he's able to secure his expansions much more easily. But Yellow's cleverly has left 2 Zerglings there from I think his last defense of that base, and now he's going to just try to pick off a drone there, and GGplay is going to just kill them. Yellow now moving out with his Mutalisks, and yeah, I have to say though, this game is swinging. It is so far firmly in GGplay's hands, I think, and it will be interesting to see whether Yellow decides to switch unit combinations, whether either player would decide to go for Hive and some Devourers, or perhaps even go for Hydralisks. We did see a really early switch to Hydralisks from Satanic in the Foreigner game, and that almost worked out for him. I think if it hadn't been for some stop lurkers that ZvZ used at the nick of time, his first attack with a lot of Hydralisks and Mulis may have worked out. And it looks like big air battle might occur here at the upper left. Yellow's forced to retreat to the safety of those spore colonies in the corner. Really interesting position. I've never actually seen this from a Zerg player before, placing a hatchery in the corner of the map, the absolute corner, and using that sort of strategy there to I guess prevent flanking and just get the gas, really. And yeah, so it looks like GGplay hasn't gone for any more tech. Both players still relying on Mutalisks and Zerglings, which is the standard combination here. I don't see any upgrades up either for any of these Mutalisks. And it looks like Queen's Nest is going in for Yellow, though, so Yellow has decided to go for higher tech. I'm going to guess he's going to go for a Greater Spire here. And perhaps some upgrades would be good here also, since both players are committing to air completely. Definitely some carapace upgrades will be quite successful, I think. Looks like a Sunken being set up at the lower right there for GGplay, and Yellow just killing another Overlord here. Both players just trying to find a weakness here, but both players, it looks like they both have a lot of stag defenses now, so it won't be so easy to exploit as in about 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago when they didn't have those stag defenses, and they could just rush in and cause a lot of damage to the drone line. Hive being more for Yellow now, and I don't think GGplay has gone for this tech just yet. Looks like he's still at lair. And of course, Yellow's Zerglings will be more powerful too once Hive gets and they get the adrenal glands upgrade. So yeah, if you guys have a chance, please leave more comments, leave more suggestions. I know I say this at every video, but I love getting comments and new ideas for videos because I do have some free time coming up in the next few days. I could probably do like 30 to an hour video a day, basically. That's my rate, unless it's I have a really free day or something. So yeah, if you guys think of any single games or a short series, I'd love to hear them. My next, I guess, scheduled commentary will be in the MSL. It looks like Yellow going for a little raid there, killing off 2 drones before he's forced to retreat. Yellow doing a good job of keeping GGplay on his toes, and he has this position here where he can retreat to quite easily after harassing GGplay's base, and GGplay can't touch him there because of all the spores there. There's no way he can go in without suffering just insurmountable casualties, and GGplay does lose a couple of drones there. It looks like he had no spore colonies at this location. Yellow just testing the waters with another Zergling there. And right now, both players seem like they're sort of at an impasse here. looks like GGplay and Yellow both content to just macro up a little bit, and a Greater Spire is being more for Yellow here. So no attacks, frontal attacks going for either player. GGplay really can't attack Yellow because of Yellow's defenses, and Yellow has a much smaller Mutalisk force than GGplay, so of course he can't go for a frontal attack either. So I think Devourers will start to make a difference here. I'm going to assume that's what Yellow's going to get first, of course, because he doesn't have air superiority yet. Of course, Devourers and Mutalisks are a great combination against just Mutalisks alone. The Acid Spores just cause so much damage to these Mutalisks. Well, everyone knows how Acid Spores work, so I'm not going to go to explain it. But yeah, it's a good combination, and it's a good way to use up excess minerals too, to keep your mineral balance correct. But yeah, generally we do not see a high-level tech in Zerg versus Zerg, especially not in Korean Zerg versus Zerg. So this is already a very interesting game so far as we're reaching the 17th minute here. And actually, I should mention, I believe the natural expansion, does it have a gas? Actually, the natural expansion on 815 does not have a gas, so actually both players needed that extra expansion to get their second gases. Sorry, but I didn't mention that. I thought the natural expansion had gas. And looks like an attack might be going in here for GGplay. He might feel like there's enough Mutalisks here to go for a straight up just a spore line break here, but it looks like the first Devourers are out for Yellow, so Yellow will be able to ward away these Mutalisks here. And GGplay is going to have to think twice about sticking to just Mutalisks. Looks like his Mutalisks have finally got Carapace +1. I don't see any upgrades for Yellow's Mutalisks yet. Yellow's still at 0-0. And but with the first Devourers out, he's gradually going to be able to get air superiority here with the same amount of production, because Devourers are just so good against those clumped up Mutalisks. It looks like he's going to go for an air attack here. And GGplay, of course, has fewer static defenses than Yellow does. This is going to also come down to a micro battle, too. And it'll be really interesting to see what happens here. GGplay now spreading out his Mutalisks. If you notice, his Mutalisks take up the whole screen now because he doesn't want to clump them at this point. Looks like he's got Scourge also. That's what I was going to think. That is one way of dealing with Devourers, because he shoots so slowly. You can use Scourge against them. And yeah, it looks like Yellow's actually going for a Spore Break here at the lower right. It's not going to work, though, it seems. And he does have all those Devourers, though. He needs to be careful. Those Devourers, Scourge are going in, but Yellow's cleverly using his Mutalisks to absorb the hits, not letting his Devourers get killed there. So good play by him, good micro there. But of course, some of the Devourers did get hit, I think, and they're going to be at half health, I believe. And looks like a hatchery going up, another hatchery going up for GGplay at this 8 o'clock position. But I think Yellow's going to spot that fairly quickly if he does one of his raiding attacks and retreats. A huge amount of Mutalisks up, but that girl is saying that's a lot of Mutalisks. Yeah, so this is still a really close game. I wouldn't give the advantage to either player, but I think if Yellow actually switched to some Zerglings right now, just got a fast attack force of Zerglings, he could try to bait GGplay's Mutalisk in going one direction, and then send his Zerglings to pick off the expansion at the 5 o'clock, because that is quite vulnerable to ground attack. Really, I think it only has Spore Colonies there. And the Mutalisk will not be able to run back in time, I feel, before they just picked off the hatchery. Surprising that Yellow still hasn't got any upgrades for his air units yet. Usually Zerg doesn't really get those upgrades very early on, but at this point it would be quite economical to get them. And yeah, it looks like GGplay now going to Hive himself. And Yellow just focusing his forces in the middle still. GGplay's expansion here at the 8 is almost up. And both players sort of playing a waiting game here also. Just perhaps waiting until they feel they're ready to go out. And I really do think, though, some Zerglings from Yellow would be useful at this point. It's just because both players have just committed just to air. And it looks like +2 Carapace up for the Mutalisk, so for GGplay, so he's going to be able to counteract some of the effect of the Devourers and their Acid Spores. Because, of course, each level of Carapace will cancel out one Acid Spore in terms of extra damage being done. And yeah, now the Mutalisks from GGplay might be going for a raid here at the upper left. Looks like they are going to go for a big raid here, but there are a lot of Spore Colonies. Are they going to be able to hold? It looks like they are going to be able to hold here, and GGplay just has to retreat there. A little bit of a mistake. I don't think it was possible for him to break there. And we'll see if either player decides to go for some Guardians. That would be truly interesting. I think some Guardians would be useful, though, against the Spore Colonies from Yellow. If Yellow just had perhaps 3 or 4 Guardians right now, even, he could start taking apart the lower right base. without being harmed, of course, because Guardians can range spore colonies, outrange spore colonies. And Yellow looks like he's sending in a Mulus just to do some scouting. It looks like he's going to go for an attack at the newly formed 8 o'clock expansion, though. And this attack might be successful here. He's aiming directly for the hatchery here. And looks like he is going to be able to pick out this hatchery. It looks like GGplay actually finding Yellow's expansion in the middle of the map, and that is an island map, an island expansion. It's surrounded by a wall, so it looks like Yellow has a research drop for his overlords. I think it's a slow drop, though. He doesn't have speed upgrade. He just slowly moved that overlord into that island expansion. Now Yellow trying to set up expansion also at the 12. I think it's going to be spotted and destroyed, though. A Defiler's Mound going up for GGplay, actually. So really interesting play here. It looks like he's also going to be going for a Plague, and of course the Plague is just absolutely deadly against Zerg players. We saw at the end of the last game that the Plagues really decided the game at the end, and it looks like now Yellow has